Welcome to Outlaw Theology, the Last Frontier edition with the Whiskey Preacher. I'm Phil Shepard, your host, better known as the Whiskey Preacher. And as you can see, I am not in my normal setting where I create these vidcasts. I happen to be on an airplane right now, flying to Alaska, hence why I'm calling this the Last Frontier edition. I hope you can hear me okay in my headphone microphone and over the gentleman sitting right in front of me. He's been snoring for the last 45 minutes really loudly, or the baby crying in the background a handful of rows back. Growing up in Alaska was a very unique experience, not just because of the extreme cold or the extreme change in dark and light, but the religious culture was fairly non-existent. Less than 5% of the entire state of Alaska goes to any type of church, and half of the entire state's population actually lives in Anchorage, where I was born and raised. So you figure that's roughly, if I'm being generous, close to 15,000 people going to any type of church. I want to ask the question, because of the polarizing church experiences that I've had living in Texas and living in Alaska, what does Jesus look like in your culture? Jesus looks very different in the Texas culture. I think he's very much the marketed universal Jesus. And Jesus in Alaska is, I won't say non-existent, but very different in how people talk about him. There was a short time where my wife and I lived in Minneapolis, and then there was this African Presbyterian minister who came and spoke to us, and he said this. He said he's not interested in the Jesus that's presented in the scriptures, even though that Jesus is important. He's more interested in what Jesus looks like in the 21st century in the shanty towns that I minister in. I think we should apply that question to wherever we live, whether it is in Anchorage, Alaska, Fort Worth, Texas, Brisbane, Australia, Munich, Germany, wherever. We need to start asking these tougher questions of what does Jesus look like in our culture, and have we created this universal Jesus that we've packaged and tried to pawn off on people? I'd love to hear your comments. I can't wait to dialogue with you about this. Please feel free to leave comments in the comment section below. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, you can hit my Twitter icon right over here or over here. I can't remember where it's at. And you can also check out my Facebook, which is one of these icons around here somewhere. By the way, a side note, I'm extremely honored to be here on Patheos, and I want Slacktivists to know I'm coming after you. You have maybe been the king and the progressive Christian portal here on Patheos for a long time, but you never had to deal with me. Again, thank you all for coming by Outlaw Theology with the Whiskey Preacher here on Patheos, and I look forward to many different conversations.